Hello, everybody, and welcome to DTBTV. So, this is my season review so far. Sorry for the delay. I was late back from football training, but also I've had a bit of technical problems with my sound. But yeah, this is a season review so far. And what I'm going to do is, obviously, with it being a winter break at the moment, I'm going to just talk about my thoughts of how we've got on and everything relating to the season so far. So currently sitting second in the Premier League table, in the League Cup final, in the FA Cup, at home to Cardiff. Absolutely smashed the Champions League to pieces. The group stage, our best ever in my entire 30 years of being a Red. So this season review is going to be quite an uplifting one, and one that we should all be shared in, where we're all got this utmost belief that that picture above me there in my head with Klopp sitting drinking lager on the back of a bus. I'm going to stick my neck out on the line and say I'll be doing that again come the end of the season, and I don't think a few of you will disagree with me. So, a lot to play for. The season so far has been a little bit of a roller coaster, but it always is under Jurgen Klopp. He kept the belief. He kept the belief that he still thought that there would be twists and turns. I have never once said that I didn't believe in this squad. I've never once said that with everybody fit and available, I don't think there's a better team in the league than us. I mean, if you put our first 11 out, I don't care about Man City's. They've got no Aguero now. They've got no centre forward. I think our first 11 is better than Man City's. All right, they've got a bigger squad than us, but so they should when they can have £100 million players on the bench. But the way I see it is this. We have so much to play for. Yes, I changed my mind a couple of weeks ago when I said that I would like one or two additions. I just think we need freshening up, and I actually think it's going to happen. I said to Craig Farragon when I sat here and watched the game with Palace with him that Bobby Firmino's looked off it. I asked, anybody speak to Craig? I said Bobby hasn't looked himself. He doesn't look on the ball. He looks like he's got something on his mind. Now we've had to play Bobby. We've had to play him because Salah and Mane are away. But I believe that this interest in Barcelona is true. I believe it's real. And do you know what? I said it this morning to Craig at football training, and I said, it is what it is. He's done amazing. We all agree we've got to replace the front three at some point. And I think out of the three, Salah, Mane and Firmino, I believe Firmino would be the first to go. I actually do believe it. If you were going to ask me now, if you were to get rid of one of the front three now, and you had a choice between Salah, Mane and Firmino, and you only had a choice of selling one, who would it be? I'd say Bobby. Bobby doesn't score the goals that Salah and Mane do, so in a way you're not letting go too many goals. I love Bobby Firmino. If he stays, I'll be buzzing, and if he goes, he'll go with my blessing. I said this when I went back to Coutinho. Brazilians want to play for Barcelona. That is, the South Americans are all like that. They want to play for Barca or they want to play for Real Madrid. And do you know what? He's not jumped ship. He's not left us when we haven't won anything like Coutinho. He's left after winning everything. So he will go with my blessing. Now, there's been a lot of people on the group that have said 16 million, he's taking the piss. That's about right. He's 30 years old. And then somebody said on the group, well, we got 20 million for Dominic Solanke. That fee sounds crazy, but Solanke scored the goals this season that looks like it's going to get Bournemouth back up into the Premier League. You get £110 million for being promoted to the Premier League. So Solanke's more or less paid that 20 million back. And the difference is Dominic Solanke was 20 years old. You buy in the next 10 years. You're not buying the next 10 years with Bobby Firmino. You buy in 18 months to 24 months to 3 years max. So the fee will kind of come into that. Now, if you look at it like this, we haven't spent now heavily in the last two windows. It's as if we're waiting to sign an absolute monumental player like Erling Haaland or like Jude Bellingham. And if you look at it like this, or even this Diaz, if you look at it like this, if we wait, I mean, I did want to bring some players in January because I just want to see a signing. I like the excitement it brings. But at the end of the day, I've always had belief in this squad and I won't change. But if we're going to make 16 million for Bobby, and then if we make 15 million for Nat Phillips, and then if we make 7 million for Origi. We could raise 50, 60 million in this window. Put that towards maybe the Diaz money in the summer, and then maybe Jude Bellingham, and then we're laughing. Think of it next season if we had Diaz, Jota, Salah, Mane, uh, and who else is the other one? There's one more. That's the four. And then we've obviously got the lads like Cade Gordon, who'd be obviously lads that could play up front. Obviously, he likes playing. Do you know, we thought we would struggle. Maybe we'd need another striker. But we thought we would struggle with Salah and Mane gone in January. We haven't lost a game. And it's just amazing. This is what I'm saying. So, in a way, we need to, even myself, we need to just relax a little bit. Klopp knows what he's doing. FSG know what they're doing. I've said this. I can get frustrated like anybody else. But FSG are not tight bastards. We have just been down to Anfield this morning, me and Craig, and we were going to do another Anfield development video, but it's so busy, and they're building all of this concrete base with elevator shafts. Now, I didn't even realise this, but I spoke to the foreman this morning, the main guy that's doing the build, and he showed me plans. He showed me his plans on his mobile, showed me and Craig it. And that Anfield Road end isn't just going back to where it used to. It's going as far as the tree line. So you know where the fences are around the ground? It's going as far as the tree line. That stand is going to go from the side, behind the goal, all the way back to the tree line of Stanley Park. It is going to be absolutely massive. And I mean massive. I mean the size of the main stand, but just width won't be as long, but it's going to be the size of it, and it's going to go. I mean, those of you that know Anfield well, you know where you're walking on that path where the tree line is to Anfield and you've got the car park? That's going to be the edge of the Anfield Road end. It is going to be incredible. So all this nonsense about FSD don't spend money. If they had spent what they have put in on the new stands, 2 of them, which was 150 million for the main stand, 60 million for the away end, and 60 million for the training ground. If they'd have spent that on players, and we were still playing in a 44,000 ground that was old and derelict, some of the main stand was absolutely had it, would you be happy? See, you can't have both. They've invested in the future of Liverpool. Now, Liverpool will probably get the benefit out of signing the players that you want now and what I want now sometimes in 10 years, out of the benefit of selling 61,000 tickets a game. So it is what it is. You've got to look at it like that. So FSG do spend money, but they have never, ever panic buyed. They don't do that. They don't do that. So the way I look at it is, what we've got to do now is we've got to literally just let them do what they do best. Klopp believes in his squad. You've seen that Kane Gordon can step in. I know he's had a bit of a dodgy game against who was it? Arsenal. He didn't play great in that, but he's a young kid. We've got Harvey Elliott back now. So the way I look at it is just keep the faith with the squad. So FSG will spend in the summer. Now, listen, Nat Phillips ain't going to play for us again this season. Get 15 million for him. Tell you what, he deserves it. Deserves to play football. Get 7 million for Divock Origi. Let him go to Newcastle. If Firmino and Origi go this window, we have to sign a striker. Okay, go sign one then. Have you seen this kid in Brazil, the 15-year-old? He looks absolutely unbelievable. He scored an overhead kick. Liverpool are apparently after him as well. So there is strikers out there. Obviously, 15-year-old you don't want straight away, but you know what I'm saying. We can bring in somebody. But when have we ever guessed who we're bringing in at Liverpool? Did we think we were bringing in Mo Salah? No. Did we think we were bringing in Sadio Mane? No. Did we think we were bringing in Andy Robertson? No. Did we think we were bringing in Wijnaldum? No. All of these signings that Liverpool signed, they seem to come out the window. The only one we kind of knew was Van Dijk because we had a bit of a problem with them when we tried to sign him the first time. But FSG just pull little rabbits out the hat. Klopp and FSG work together so well. And I keep going back to this in my videos. If you watch Moneyball, the film Moneyball, you will know the exact blueprint of how FSG operate the same way they did in the baseball, and it worked. And Klopp has always loved that module. That's why he loves it at Liverpool, because he's always loved. What did he say at Bayern Munich, at Dortmund? He says, Bayern Munich have bazookas, but we have bows and arrows at Dortmund. but it never worked out so bad for Robin Hood, did it? I mean, even that screams Klopp, but it screams FSG's model of what they do. They'll fight with bows and arrow, but they'll be more effective when those were bazookas. And that is exactly how we have always been. So this FSG out shit needs to stop. I've never said it once. I have said my change has been they need to just do a little bit more spending. But that's because I'm a football fan. I'm just the same as you. So I want to see something. But if they go and deliver 3-4 trophies again this summer, then you can't argue with them. We're in the League Cup final at Wembley. We're still in the FA Cup. We beat Cardiff. We're in, we're deep into that competition. The Champions League, I fear nobody. I've been watching a lot of Italian football this season. Do not fear Inter Milan. Do not fear Inter Milan. This is not Antonio Conte's Inter Milan with Lukaku up front and Eriksen in midfield. This is a different Inter Milan, and they're playing in three-quarter empty stadiums at the moment, so it isn't going to be a San Siro which is packed to the rafters. So I look at it like this: we're going to go deep into the Champions League. Now, if you can imagine, if we won the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Champions League and the Premier League, it would be the greatest season Liverpool have ever done in their entire lives, ever. Then that's followed up by the fact we'll have the Super Cup and we'll have the Charity Shield and we'll have the World Club Cup again. This could be the greatest ever Liverpool season of all time. And why not believe in that? Man City are wobbling now. Did you see Pep Guardiola's post-match interview against Southampton? That looked like a man that was literally shitless, scared shitless. He knew how big that was, because if you're dropping points to Southampton, who are poor, by the way, he knows that they've still got to go to some dangerous places, and he knows that when we go to the Etihad, we are going to be a serious animal. And if we beat them and win our game in hand against Leeds, who are poor, by the way, they got beat by Newcastle at the weekend, then this is on. This could be the greatest season in our history. And you tell me this, right? If we win the Premier League and the Champions League and the League Cup or whatever this season, we'll end up doing the parade for the Premier League anyway, even if we don't win the league this season, because we still haven't done the parade for the last league title. So the Premier League there'll be 1 million people on the streets of Liverpool. This is what we live for. This is why we love the club. This has to be a period of dominance now from Jurgen Klopp. And that's what I can't wait for. So the season so far, yes, if Bobby goes, we need to bring in a striker. Yes, the summer, we bring players in every summer, so that's nonsense. Look at the players we brought in every summer. In Thiago, we've brought in a Konate this summer. The previous summer, we brought in good players. We will sign players in the summer to get them into pre-season. So we know signings are now only, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 weeks away. 24 weeks away max. We're 24 weeks away from seeing new players. And we're going to see sales coming in now because a lot of the lads are getting older. Not the Trents, not the Matips, not the Van Dijks, not the Robertsons, not the Curtis Jones, not the Fabinhos, not the Hendos, or even though Hendo's getting on, but he'll stay as it is. Not the Jotas, not, Oxlade-Chamberlain will go in the summer. He'll need to be replaced. He'll go and play for somebody like Southampton or something again, or someone like Leicester. But what it is we will go far into each competition this season, because what we've got is what the Italians haven't got and the Germans haven't got, is we've got packed stadiums. So over 2 legs now, we're going away to San Siro. They're at like 20% capacity at the moment, right? We'll have 100% capacity at Anfield. We will have that 12th man that these teams in Portugal and Spain and Germany have not got, and Italy, sorry. So it is what it is. So we've just got to keep doing what we're doing. We've just got to keep believing in this squad. Yeah, I'd love to see a couple of players come in, but if it doesn't happen, you can clearly see Klopp knows what he's doing. He always knows what he's doing. You will never see me scream FSG out. Did you see what Bill Kenwright took off Everton? Right? Everton deserve to have their board out. 27 years of no trophies and $500 million spent. About 15 managers, right? No finals. Well, nothing to really look back on. No great players to worship. Everyone's jumped ship like Digne and Lukaku and all that. They deserve to have their board screaming out. FSG have built 2. By the time this, I'm telling you now, I live in Anfield. Go and have a look at that new stand already. It is gonna be huge. They have turned Anfield into I cycle all over the city. You can see the main stand 10, 15 miles in either direction. You can see it across the water at the Wirral. It is literally absolutely that big. It is monumental. And you wait till you see this Anfield Road end. I couldn't believe it when he showed me the plans this morning. It is literally going from from behind the net of Anfield all the way to the edge of that where the stand is now, the end of it, then across the road and then across the whole family park to the tree line of Stanley Park. It is huge. So we're not talking about how many seats they're adding. There's only 7,000 more seats, but they're building behind it corporate facilities. There's going to be a live band area where all the fans can congregate and they can go and have. There'll be live music on. There'll be function rooms. There's restaurants where you can eat. It's absolutely believable. And by the time they finish with that stadium, they have brought us Jurgen Klopp. They have brought us Van Dijk. They have brought us Sadio Mane. They have brought us Mo Salah. They have brought us, you know, Gini Wijnaldum, Alisson Becker, the list goes on. Enough with this FSG out nonsense. It is frustrating that we don't sign all the time, but we don't fucking need to. Look at Man United. Look at Everton. I've been guilty of it. I said I fancied a couple of players. I was only saying that based on the fact that COVID started taking 5 or 6 of our players. If it wasn't for COVID now, I wouldn't be asking for any signings because we'd have a good enough squad until the summer. So it is what it is. So my review so far is fucking unbelievable. My review so far is I think we're going to win a minimum of 2 trophies this season. A minimum of 2. Go to Wembley, beat Chelsea, get a cup in straight away, and that just gives us that continuity. It happened in 2001. Once we won the League Cup, we went on to win the FA Cup. Once we won the FA Cup, we went on to win the UEFA Cup. This could happen again. Winning trophies breeds confidence. Getting to finals breeds confidence. And we've got Klopp in charge. And to me, that makes us a unbelievable force. And Man City won't have packed Etihad crowds where they're getting behind them. Chelsea are falling off anyway. They've gone weeks ago. So to me, what we have to do now is just do what we have to do best, and that is get Anfield packed, get singing, get behind the lads, and this season could easily be one of the best that I and yous have ever seen in your life. You'll never walk alone.